Welcome to Friday's masterclass. So excited to be with you as I deliver for you the new patient formula for chiropractors and integrated practices. One of the things that happens while I'm literally in conversation with hundreds and hundreds of doctors across our profession and asking them, what's their biggest pain point? What are the things that they're trying to solve? And I tell you, in the top one or two, it's almost always marketing. So, really excited to share this with you because we have had some unbelievable data come in around new patient acquisition and the formulas that are really found deep within the data that we've been able to run through AI systems and uncover. And as we apply these frameworks, the results that I'm going to show you today is unreal. And so I am so proud of you for stepping into this masterclass this beautiful Friday and joining me to spend just a few minutes today. Well, I shouldn't say a few minutes. It's 45 minutes to an hour where we're going to dive into this formula. I'm going to give it to you. These are actionable steps that you can literally take action on today, begin implementing these things. And with the AI technology that's happening both worldwide in our profession, it is allowing you to do so much more with less. And that is the driven doc way, right? The drifting doc is known for starting cycles and never completing cycles. A driven doc understands the power of completing cycles. And what I mean by that is whether it's a project, whether it's building something, whether it's understanding the cycles of your business and the data waterfall. There's certain things that have to be fixed that you, as the driven doc, are the one that have to make sure that it's getting fixed and understanding your persona, whether you're a really good starter or you're a really good finisher. Rarely do we see both. I might be the king of starters and not great finishers, and it's why I have to surround myself with great finishers. A driven doc isn't focused on their weaknesses, they're focused on building team to fill in their weaknesses. And that's how we truly succeed. So this is why you're here today. I'm going to invite you to turn on your cameras. It's so much more fun when I actually get to see your faces. I see some familiar names on here. Welcome, Eric. I want to welcome Rob. I want to welcome Jared. I want to welcome Anita. I want to welcome Melissa. I want to welcome Dr. Martin. I want to welcome Dr. Kaz. These are some amazing, amazing individuals that I have actually worked with in some instances a lot. So welcome, welcome, welcome to this masterclass. This is going to be fun. So in this process, guys, this is a system that is not being used by 95% of our profession. This literally is the system that the top 5% of chiropractors are using right now and using it, making sure that you protect yourself, right? The drifting doc keeps pushing harder. They think that the harder they work, the more they're going to actually produce. And did you know that it's actually the inverse? That there becomes this tipping point that as you push harder on new patients, it actually starts to constrict your new patient flow. And I'm going to show you those formulas today, which are unbelievable. So I'm so excited to share this framework. This is the exact framework that we're using with Dr. Scott Ferguson. Check this out. This is real-time data, guys. Kaz, you're going to love this. He last month, in the month of February, 26 new patients, collecting 46,000, almost 47,000. We implemented the system halfway through February, right? So the system I'm going to show you implemented in February of this year, and check out his numbers. 48 new patients collecting $99,000. He almost broke the $100,000 mark. Now, whether you're on this call and you're already past 100,000, or whether you're on this call and you're only doing $20,000 months, it's okay. This system works and you can implement it. You can start implementing pieces of it literally today. And so, again, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to share this whole thing with you. I would love for you guys to get to know each other a little bit better. If you guys don't mind dropping in the chat where you're coming in from, what state are you from? What city are you from within that state? Some of you might even be in the same neck of the woods. So it's kind of fun to see in there where you guys can actually might even be able to connect, share ideas, share strategies, all of these things. So just drop in the chat for me where you guys are coming in from. Dr. Jared coming in from oh, sweet. Missouri. Welcome, man. Wildwood. Super cool. How cool would that be to live in Wildwood? That's just a cool name, right? Kaz, I know you, brother, coming in from Georgia, my man. That guy is killing it. If you guys don't know Dr. Kaz, you guys need to know him. Coming in from Jason, welcome from Bountiful, my good friend. He is such a stud. Coming in from Melissa, welcome, welcome from Georgia. I love it. I love it. Oh, no way. We got Dr. Jeremy De La Santos. Welcome, man. It's been a minute. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to see you. And the rest of you, hey, don't hold back, man. Drop it in the chat. We're excited to have you. So when you look at what most proper chiropractors perceive, it's interesting because as you guys know, I've worked with over, I don't know, 2,000 practices now, where we've got thousands of users across our platforms. I'm not in full-time practice anymore. I sold my clinic about 6 years ago. I love patient care, but I had a calling to help chiropractors scale their practices so that they could help more patients. I wanted to help more patients individually, but one-on-one, I just wasn't getting it done. I needed to find ways to help our profession impact their communities on a bigger scale. So, as I've analyzed this, and as you analyze the data, because that's where I spend my time. I spend my time in the data. That's why we're the data-driven practice. That's why Blue IQ gathers data for us to be able to analyze. It's interesting because where most chiropractors perceive that they have a new patient problem, it's really actually a conversion problem, and I want to show you that throughout the process. Now, I'm not saying more leads isn't possibly your problem because it might be, but when you look at these steps, I'm going to really show you these things and how they come together. Again, some of you know me well. Some of you, this might be the very first time you're hearing from me. So I just want to quickly share with you why this is my expertise. I have four companies now. I have the data-driven practice, that is our coaching, consulting, full marketing agencies, organic content, paid content, you name it. We're analyzing the data through that process. My first company other than my practice was Blue IQ, right? That's what I launched in 2019. We have full integrations now with ChiroTouch, Prime Practice, and Genesis. I do have my own EHR now. It's called Prime Practice. We launched that this last fall, and super excited of what we're doing with Prime Practice. It's not just another EHR to be another EHR in the space. It's actually an EHR driven by tracking the data of patient metrics. So as you guys know, Blue IQ is primarily your business metrics. Prime Practice is designed for patient metrics to track patient progress, your protocols, how effective are they? And the stuff we're going to be doing there with AI is just insane. And then because we needed a full financial picture to help our doctors really manage the five financial playbooks of their practice, we've launched now Prime Financial Partners, which is a full chiropractic accounting firm that is connected and integrated into Blue IQ for you so that you can see your real-time data. You know how to leverage your profit levers. You know how to manage your money. We now have what's called the profit waterfall, which is exactly how to manage your growth and your profits and how to drive those. And it's insane. It's incredible. I never dreamed I would have these four companies with this many employees across the world now. It's incredible. So I honored to be with you guys. And I've launched this book. It's called The Chiropractic CEO. This Chiropractic CEO is really focused on these freedoms that we're helping chiropractors achieve, and marketing is one piece of that. Because in each level of the chiropractic CEO, there's a problem to be solved, right? I would love for you guys to drop in the chat where you are on this scale after I explain it to you just real quick. Give me 2 minutes to share this with you because promoter is where you're in the early phase of startup, right? You're trying to become known, the freedom, you're chasing the freedom of becoming known. So whether you've been in practice for a little while or you're just launching your practice, if you're under 20,000, collection months, you're probably still in that phase of trying to become known. This is where when I opened up my practice, it was still yellow page days. It was still trying to go out and do a tremendous amount of put on the ground marketing, right? Spinal screenings and lectures, and still effective marketing mediums today. But we certainly didn't have the social media channels that we have today. But promoter phase is the goal is that freedom to become known. Enough people are now becoming to know you that your paid marketing really becomes effective. The operator phase is where you now have some significance, right? You're probably collecting between 30 and $50,000 months. You've got a few employees, but the problem here is you're the system, right? You don't really have your SOPs. I mean, imagine, Jared, if you had all of your systems in your practice documented. Imagine a new employee coming on and being able to follow a playbook or an SOP, a standard operating procedure, without you having to train them, and they could actually answer the phones, they could produce high kept appointment percentages, right? That's where a lot of chiropractors get stuck. They get stuck in this phase because they don't have systems. And you hear it all the time, chiropractors saying, I need better systems, I need better systems. And this is the goal of the operator. And by doing this, guys, this was a phase that blew my mind when I got it right, because it's actually where I broke not only the $1 million mark, this took me to about 1.5 million in collections in my practice. And in that phase, it's learning how to document and implement systems and build a team around you where you are not the system anymore. You have practice systems, and that generates the freedom of money. This is where I was probably taking home three to $400,000 a year as a chiropractor, and I was pretty happy. Like life was pretty good, but I knew I wanted to scale past that, and so I moved into the leader phase. The leader phase is where you now need a fractional office manager, not a full-time office manager. Your office manager is still in the phase of supporting a role in the practice, whether that's front desk or a CA or a billing team member or a case manager. But that team member, you're organizing the practice to start bringing on associate doctors. And because I love patient care, but I wanted to scale a business, I had to make a decision. Do I stay solely on patient care or do I start building the frameworks of scaling? And that required other providers. And this is where I had to shift my marketing because it was all about Dr. Frogley. Come and see Dr. Frogley. And I had to shift that to protocol-based marketing. So, Dr. Smith, imagine instead of, marketing out there for doctor or for patients to come and see Dr. Smith, we want to promote the actual outcomes of your protocols. We want to brand the protocols, names that patients can come in and connect with you through. So that's the leader phase. You're bringing on associate doctors. Your day-to-day starts changing dramatically, and we're buying back your time. This is an amazing area for you to start seeing the value of your time. My income didn't change a ton in this phase, but my time did. I had more time on my hands to market, which led me to move to the high performer phase. The high performer phase is where I opened up my home office and I started working part-time from home, part-time in the practice, because I had my associate doctors there was a senior associate, a junior associate. I brought on other providers to build profit centers within the practice. I was now doing some patient care, but not very much. About 8 hours a week of patient care. The rest of my time I was working on the business, not in the business. And this actually unlocked my freedom of purpose My freedom of purpose began to be, hey, I feel called to do more. This is where Blue IQ started coming into my mind, where I started using some of my financial resources to start dabbling in software, which then has led to the next phase of expander. And expander is either building multiple locations or multiple profit centers. And now this is the freedom of wealth. This unlocks the multiple that comes from multiple locations. Now, not everybody's going to get there. In fact, very few will because it's a completely different game. But do you guys mind just dropping in the chat? Just where are you on this CEO level? Are you in the promoter phase? Are you in the operator phase? That'll help me a little bit as I'm delivering this new patient formula for you to just understand the problems that you're facing, because I know the exact problems that each phase struggles with and how to overcome them now. We've built the frameworks, we've built the training, we've built the systems to help you break through there. So Jared's in the operator phase. Yeah, that's the most common phase, Jared. So welcome to, not saying you're common by any means, but that's where most people get to, and then kind of get stuck. It's hard to get to that next level, and just hiring associate doctors to try to use that to build more income is one of the biggest mistakes that happens in our profession. So Dr. Martin shares stuck between operator and leader. Good for you. That's actually an expensive place to learn the lessons. I probably wasted several $1 million in this phase learning, right? The school of hard knocks. It was tough. Jason, good for you, man. Moving to high performer. I love it. So these are frameworks that are going to help you scale with this for sure. Here's a secret. Before I get into the actual marketing, because the marketing is going to make more sense when you understand this. The CEO has five capitals that you have to master. This is gold, guys, and I wish I would have understood this better when I was in my early practice days. You have financial capital, obviously your cash flow coming in, and this is why we've built the companies we've built around the prime financial partners of how to manage your finances to build wealth, right? Human capital, how do we build teams that drive the growth of the practice rather than we feel like we're babysitters, right? Raise your hand if you've ever felt like a babysitter in practice. Holy cow. Time as a lever, right? We share with you time as a lever because this is a big one for you to be able to utilize uh, growth. Energy, because again, decision fatigue is real for CEOs, so you've got to manage your energy. But the one I want to share with you is culture. Culture is everything in a practice. And this is where we do not learn this in school, and very few coaching companies teach this appropriately. I want you to think of culture on a scale of accountability and reward. Okay. Culture is the way your team feels in your business. It's also how you feel in your business. So if you've ever felt kind of stuck, if you've ever felt, kind of like you're struggling, you don't really like your business today. Have you ever felt that? You walked into your practice, you're like, why do I hate my practice right now? That's normal. Don't feel bad about that. I've been through that cycle many a times. But what generates the feeling in your practice is this concept of accountability and reward. And here's the principle I want you to write this down because this is powerful. When accountability is focused on more than reward, you end up having team members that don't like you. They feel like they're being micromanaged. Have you ever heard that in your practice? I feel like you're micromanaging me, doc. I've been guilty of that. So when we have this, we chase away good team members. We actually end up stifling their superpowers, and we end up getting what we don't want in a practice, which is this feeling of just more babysitting. If you flip it to the other side, if reward outweighs accountability and you're always rewarding, right? You're a cheerleader, you're cheering on the team, you're rewarding them, you're paying them bonuses, even when you're not that profitable. You know what we end up with? A practice that's broke, no profits. So when you focus on one more than the other, we stifle growth. And this is a principle that you will learn in my book, The Chiropractic CEO, the concept of how do we balance accountability with reward that protects, not just protects, that accelerates the growth of a practice and takes you through this provider evolution and accelerates your path. How do we get from promoter to operator, operator to leader, leader to high performer, and high performer to expander in an accelerated rate? That is what I have built in our ecosystem to help you become a driven doc for life and implementing the driven operating system. How do we move you from drifting in practice and in life to driving impact into your community? How do you become the most well-known practice and protocols within your community? That's what we do. And if we're going to make 2026 a reality of your best year ever, you got to understand that attention is harder to get than ever, right? How many of you have heard now the social media gurus telling you that the social media era is dead? Have you heard that? Because it's not social media anymore, it's interest media. The algorithms are driving interest media. And so it's really hard. Like, if people aren't interested in what you have to say, how do we get people's attention? So patients are more skeptical than ever. Like, literally, have you seen, put in the chat if this is you, have you seen a social media post in the last 7 days where you weren't sure if it was real or not? Like stuff on what's going on with the war in Iran, oil prices, um, prominent influencers. There's posts where you watched it and you're just, it's mind-blowing, but you weren't sure if it was real or not. Have you seen that? Just drop it in the chat if you've seen that. How many of you have experienced that? Because no wonder why the public is more skeptical than ever. And this concept that speed plus follow-up now will define revenue. It's not the volume of leads, Jared, that you're getting, Melissa. It's not the volume of leads that you're getting. It's how fast you can connect with those leads. Because of the interest media, Dr. Smith could get like 1,000 leads, but if we don't contact them, if we don't reach out to them, if we don't capture that quickly, then 999 of them are going to go off to the next thing because of this interest media concept, this skepticism that is there. So I'm going to be very blunt with you, and this hurts my heart as a practitioner. Dr. Smith is one of the most skilled practitioners I have met, and I know him well. So this may hit hard, but the clinics that are winning are not the best practitioners, you guys. It's the ones running on the best systems. That's the reality. So here is a principle I want you guys to understand. The old way was, hey, leads are coming in, I hire a marketing agency, or I release some marketing, and the leads start coming into my front desk. Put in the chat if you feel legitimately like your front desk is not only busy, but if you dropped even 20 leads a day on them, that it would push them over the edge. Drop in the chat if that's you. So your front desk is busy, and then on top of being busy, you expect them to do lead follow-up. And if you drop 20 leads a day on their lap, they would lose their mind. They would be just like, Doc, you're killing me. I remember hiring a marketing agency, and I had two front desk team members at the time. And I sat down with them and I said, hey, we're hiring this agency. We're going to have leads coming in. One of your primary goals now, or your primary roles and duties is to follow up with these leads. It wasn't 10 days. 10 days I had to turn off the marketing because we were getting leads, but we weren't getting new patients. Let me repeat that. We were getting leads. We weren't getting new patients. Have you ever experienced that with a marketing agency? Am I the only one? Yeah. it's a little frustrating. And it's because I went to my front desk and I said, "How are we doing on these follow-ups?" And they're just like, "Well, we don't have time for that. Like, what are we supposed to do with already the phone ringing out the hook and already the patients that are coming in and already the reactivations that you expect us to do? Like, how are we supposed to have time for this?" And I kind of peeked into this emotional state of in the culture I was allowing to happen, right? A drifting doc, we get what we tolerate, right? I was tolerating my team to be overwhelmed and to not do the work rather than having the hard conversation of, hey, if you can't get to these leads, we need to figure out how to get to them because this drives revenues. Now, do you think your front desk, the very first thing on their mind each morning is, what do I need to do today to drive revenues for the practice? Do you, do you think, Dr. Martin, that's the first thing on your front desk mind? If you do, you might be fooling yourself. I want you to really understand this, that it's so frequently that the front desk is just, they're already overwhelmed. So what you've got to realize is that there's new technology for this, that the best, most successful practices have a hybrid system. We now take AI to handle speed to lead and consistency. That's the key, consistency. And then we use humans to emotionally connect with the patient because believe me, the skepticism of patients interacting with an AI, some of them, as we analyze the data, love it. They're just like giggling. They're telling their spouse, "Hey, you got to come over and listen to this. I'm talking to an AI right now." It's almost like a novelty. But their trust, they're a little nervous. Is this real? Is this a scam? Is this somebody out of China that's trying to just get my patient information? You better believe it that they're skeptical. So it's critical that we have a human component that steps in and is able to connect the dots for them. Because you see, what happens is growth exposes your weak systems. So imagine, cause if I came in and I dropped in 100 new patients into your practice, that growth would be exciting for a moment. But what's going to happen is it's going to expose the weakness in your systems. It's going to show you where your systems are already over leveraged and under trained. So you have to have a system for this. And so here are the exact metrics that I want you to make sure that you're tracking. I don't care if you track them on a spreadsheet or you track them in Blue IQ or some other software. But this is key, and I want to show you this. Okay. Conversion versus lead volume. This is a real practice of ours. They spent $2,882 on ad spend. And check this out, it generated 183 decompression leads. Not too shabby, right? It generated $35,000 in case value. Not lifetime value, but case value, real money that came into the practice in the next 90 days. So, because of these metrics and understanding them, this one right here is what we call the ROI calculator. So, it's factoring in the agency fee, the ad spend versus the money collected. Now, does anybody know what a typical agency ROI is? Like if you invested in ad spend and got 2x, 3x, 20x, like what do you think? Put in the chat what you think the average marketing agency generates or would consider themselves doing a good job for you. You want to take a guess and just put that in the chat? Yeah, Jason says 2x. 2x, hey, I'm still doubling my money, right? The question though is, do you have a 50% profit on your care? If you're in the operator phase, you might. If you're in the leader phase, you don't. So if you're bouncing back and forth between leader phase and operator phase, guess what? You might be under calculating your numbers. So Yeah, 10x would be amazing. If you're getting a 10x ROI in your marketing, guess how many dollars you should put into marketing? Every dollar you have, right? Here's the reality, and here's what the data shows. The average marketing agency in the chiropractic space, which most of them are kind of a joke, but there's some good ones. But the average is producing 2.5 return on your investment. So they're making you money on your marketing, but they're not making you money on your delivery, right? Again, if you're in the operator phase, you might be okay. Good agencies, the ones that I work with other agencies. I'm good friends with other agency owners. I'm at seminars with these agency owners. They're getting 3 to 5x. So 3 to 5x, if you're getting that from your agency, you're doing decent. In this case, we're getting almost an 11x, right? 10 to 11x. That's phenomenal. Like if you're getting that type of return from an agency, that's a solid agency. And I'm not saying this is our average. We're between 5 and 10x, depending on a number of factors. But check this out. This is the same clinic with some training on lead conversion training. Okay. So not just agency, hey, we dialed in better demographics, we got you better leads. Nope. This is actually less leads, you guys. Check this out. This is $2,800 ad spend, 96 leads. So they got 183 leads before. Now they got 96 leads and generated $40,000 in collections, getting a 13x on their ROI. And Kaz, that's phenomenal. 15 to 1 is incredible for 2025. So keep doing what you're doing. That's incredible. So that's not normal. Okay. 3 to 5x is what we typically see. But why the difference here? How did we go from half the leads to two more X in return? And this is the concept, guys. It's because of training your team. You have to have an agency that understands how to get the leads, right? But that's not really that hard in a marketing aspect, right? Getting leads. It's what do we do with the leads? The speed to lead. And so we've now created an AI training system for your staff to where they can do real-time phone call training and learn how to handle and connect with patients on this process of taking them from a lead to a completed day one. We have AI trainers for the front desk established patients, so canceled appointments and things like that. We have AI trainers on case management. And we do this for both case management for day zeros or what we call severity screenings, because I don't want you spending a lot of time with your new patient lead unless they're fully qualified for a full comprehensive exam, right? I don't want you booking an hour appointment for a new patient that might not show up. And the reality is with paid ads, the show rate can vary between as low as 30%, but we're averaging 50 to 70%. And that has everything to do with the human connection. That's not the AI call team. That's the human connection. But it's this training component of helping your team get so well trained. How many of you put in here? Because I'd love to know how many of you have a team member that you would rank as a black belt at handling leads and connecting with them to drive their most important metric, which is the kept appointment percentage. And that's kept appointment percentage for established patients, but also kept appointment percentage for new patients or these leads. How many of you just put in here, or do this for me? Rank your front desk team member for me right now, or whoever is handling your new patient leads as a white belt, right? That would be a not very good person. A blue belt, that would be pretty dang good. A brown belt, that would be expert. A black belt, that would be master. So just use that belt. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, so those are the that might not be the taekwondo belts, but so Jared's got a blue belt. That's solid, Jared. A blue belt's decent, right? Not a master, but they're not a novice. So good job. That's decent. Cause yeah, yeah, your wife is a black belt. She's a freaking master. But that's why, and I would beg for the data. Um, Cause on this because you're getting a 15x on your ROI on your return. I guarantee you that people using that same agency, there's practices getting a 2x return on the same service. And I know this now because again, we have a marketing agency and we work with practices and the ones that are brown belts, black belts, they get a higher ROI than the ones that are white belts or blue belts. So it's not just the agency, it's a partnership, right? It's this training concept. So check this out because this becomes really, really important to understand. This is a metric that you need to be tracking. And let me show you how to calculate it, okay? So Dr. Jason, I'll use you an example. Imagine if you are spending, $2,000 a month on ad spend. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that ad spend, including your agency fee. So let's say it's a $1,000 agency fee. You're spending $2,000 on ad spend. That'd be a $3,000 fee. You then divide that by your completed new patients. So not your screenings or free consults, okay? But actual completed day ones or full exams. That will give you this metric right here, which is called your new patient acquisition cost. You guys want to know that number. Now, I get asked all the time, how do you know if that's good or not? Well, I need to know another number. And that other number is this one over here. This is what we call average case value. No EHR gives this number. There's not a report that you can pull that gives this to you. Remember, LTV is lifetime value. What is the value of the patient over the entire lifetime of that patient? And we factor PVA or patient visit average into that and patient collection average per visit. But case value is the first care plan that you deliver for them. So Dr. Smith, imagine, you do your exam. This is a complex case. You're prescribing 3, 4 months of care, and they commit to that care plan, right? That's average case value. Let's say that's maybe $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. This is really where I excelled because I was treating really complex cases. And I was giving $5,000 or less case value to my associate doctors. And I was treating the $10,000 to $15,000 cases when I was still treating patients. That allowed me to leverage and drive growth and profitability. But on average in your practice, when you understand this ratio between ACV and new patient acquisition costs, now we can determine if you're scalable. If I could scale your marketing, because this ratio, this percentage should be 5%. So divide your new patient acquisition cost, divide it by your average case value, and you're going to come up with a percent times 100. So you multiply that number times 100, you get a percentage. In this case, this practice is below 5%. We want to see this 5% or less. That's when we know that you're going to be profitable. Like I could turn this machine on. If this is way too high, 8, 9, 10, I'm not giving that marketing agency more money until I fix the constraint. But is it the agency or is it the practice training? Is it your front desk team member? Is it your skill as a case manager or a consultation or exam or delivering the ROF or it's the sales process, right? Now I know how good Kaz is. He is a phenomenal communicator. So not only the reason why he's getting 15x is because he's got his front desk, he's got his wife as a black belt, And he's a black belt in the exam, consultation, and ROF. And when you're a black belt, you get numbers where the agency is like, yes, look at how good we are. And that's not really true. They might be good, but the reason why the ROI is so good is because of the skill set of the front desk and the sales process at in your practice. So this upstream net metric right here, the CPL, we want to see that under 30. So that's on your agency. Okay. This number's on your agency. So when you're working with your agency and you're getting the data from your agency or you're having your consultation with them, that should be under 30 in order for the math to work. So this number should be under 30 and this number should be five or less on your overall marketing. Now, on just your paid ads, if you calculate this for just your paid ads, this could get up around eight, and that's okay. But when you look at it on average, this is why this next piece is so important. So if you're going to scale your evolution, right? You're going to move from promoter to operator, operator to leader, leader to high performer, really moving into a true CEO seat, right? Each one of those requires a CEO skill set, but the skill sets of a CEO don't really fully unlock until leader and high performer. So this step one is you've got to build a complete ecosystem. I spent years obsessing over this. I really focused on one, getting solid patient referrals. We had a system for that. We have a system where we would generate referrals from every new patient and more referrals as that patient went through the patient journey. We obsessed over the website. Now with AI tools and the analysis that we can do on your website and see the holes and see the weaknesses and see why it's not ranking and why it's incredible. Provider referrals. This is another place where I shined because I was able to build within my community other providers and other businesses that actually outperformed my paid ads. That means I had dentists, I had massage therapists, I had craniosacral therapists, I had nutritionists, I had functional medicine doctors, I had grocery stores, I had fitness centers that were sending me new patients every week. That's what we call our preferred provider network. Of course, now it's time to unlock paid ads, right? We only unlock paid ads to ramp up. It's like throwing gasoline on the fire. We don't use paid ads to start the fire. Email marketing is still very effective. Organic content becomes critical, especially in today's interest media, but knowing how to create it, right? It's not just you getting you and rambling on camera. There's strategy behind that organic content to actually create engagement and connection. Workshops still work phenomenally. In fact, that's the one to many lever that we want to push. And you're sitting here experiencing my webinars, right? This is a webinar, right? You should be doing this on a regular basis for your patient base. You should be building connection with your patient base. Now, that's step one. Step two is key that I'm about to show you. But do you guys have any questions on step one? Do you guys want to drop any questions in the chat? Because I'm here to serve you guys. I'm happy to help with this, but this is gold what I'm going into next. So drop any questions in the chat that you may have around this as I start to go into number two. So Jason just asked CPL. That stands for cost per lead, Jason. So if I give my marketing agency, say $2,000, they're not going to calculate the agency fee on that because that's not the way Meta or Google calculates it. So what it does is it automatically calculates how many leads did you generate from the ads. And that's what we call cost per lead. Now, all of those leads, it doesn't mean that they scheduled, they just reached what we call an event. They either clicked, they exchanged some information, so we now have their information. It doesn't mean they scheduled necessarily, but we have their information and we can start nurturing. We can start reaching out to them. that's a lead. So that cost per lead, we want to see that under 30 bucks a new patient. So, and of course, the more valuable your case, right? If you're one of those doctors where your average case is like 10K, you can actually increase that a little bit. But the math has to work. In the marketing business, we call it the math has to math. In the coaching business and scaling your practice, right? Your numbers have to math. And so that's why these conversion metrics become really critical. So awesome. Okay. So in mastering conversion, you guys, these next two slides hopefully give you an understanding of a framework that's really critical. So when I open up that pipeline on the left right here, do you see that funnel? This would be like my paid ads. That's the funnel for paid ads. I want them coming to what's called my driven offer. My driven offer is an offer that I can run and test on my ads, and I can change it, I can test it, I can dial it in, and it's attractive enough. And the barrier does two things. It filters, but it also doesn't uh, push away. It's not so high of a barrier, right? Imagine if my offer was $100. They had to pay $100 to get into my new patient appointment. That's probably too high. It's going to be hard to get a lot of leads in there, but it would filter out people without money, and it would filter out people on Medicaid, and it would filter out people on disability, right? So there's a balance in your driven offer of that filter. We want to filter so that we do get rid of the tire kickers and the ones that are wasting our time, but we don't want it so high that we're missing out on opportunity to create connection. Okay. The filter up here, which is your preferred provider network, it's your patient referrals, it's workshops, because in my workshops, they're already screened now. I've spent time with them, right? They've heard me. Those should go directly into your full day one, which is a deep consultation and a comprehensive exam and diagnosis. The ones that make it through your day zero, which should be a 20-minute appointment and no more, if they pass through that, then they get to come into the comprehensive day one. And only then do they get the full day two. And through the whole process, we're promoting, it's changing the mindset, you guys, from provider personality driven to protocol driven. And Jason, this is tough because you're such a talented provider. It's easy to get you new patients, right? Patients, I've heard them. I've talked to your patients. They love you. They love the results you get for them. But how do we market your practice to where they're not going to see you? What happens? Like I went through this. Like, how do I market for my other providers to where patients are coming in not demanding me? And that's scalability. That's the challenge, Jason. And so there's a good handful of driven docs that can build a cash flow practice, meaning they're making good money for themselves. Very few make it through to building a business to where now Jason can go travel the world. He can now manage the business from his phone. He has an operator, he has skilled clinicians, and the demand is for the protocol, not the provider. Do you guys understand that? When you guys type in the chat, demand for the protocol, not the provider. Demand for the protocol, not the provider. Demand for the protocol, not the provider. I cannot drill that into you enough because unless you want to be treating patients for the rest of your practicing career, that's fine. Like build the demand for you. That's fine. But when you're ready to build a true business, it's a completely different game. And that's what we teach because here is step number three. And this is the key, is understanding the patient psychology of decision points. Decision points happen at the end of a consultation for both you and the patient. Let me repeat that. Decision points at the end of the consultation, you're determining and deciding, do I even want to work with this person? And the biggest mistake that I made as a young practice owner was that I was trying to convert every new patient into a long-term patient. Did you know that that's a mistake? Maybe that's an epiphany for some of you right now. I had to grow into and be coached because I didn't understand this coming from the chiropractic family I came from, that I had to set up enough consultations to identify which patients I wanted to start working with and which ones I didn't. And when I made that switch, my income doubled. Let me repeat that. My personal take-home income doubled when I made that switch. There's a decision point for the patient as well. And the decision point should not be, do I want this doctor as my provider? The decision point is, I hope they accept my case. I hope they accept my case. At the end of the exam, there's a decision point. At the end of the ROF, there's a decision point. So understanding these decision points and understanding your marketing and understanding that you are in a game of not just being the doctor. You are in the game of becoming a master marketer and master salesperson. You have to master those two skill levels if you ever want to grow a practice beyond you. If you want your practice to be all about you and feed your family and build your cash flow for your dream life, then make it all about you. But when you're ready to build a business that doesn't rely on you, when you're ready to build a business that makes your team a lot of money, when you're ready to build a business that makes other providers a lot of money, then you master marketing and sales, and you find a marketing and sales partner that can help you get to this place. Because this is what this looks like, you guys. This is a report that comes from Prime Financial Partners, right? My accounting agency. So imagine being able to have this data like right after the month closes, but seeing the data in a real-time dashboard with Blue IQ coming at you. So here's your monthly collections, here's your net profits, here's the marketing profit lever, here's your labor profit lever. Remember I talked about the five capitals that you have to master? Guess what? These are them. This is your human capital. This is your all other OpEx. This is your continuing education. This is your rent. This is your supplies, not your supplements, not your DME, right? Those are COGS. This is understanding what numbers go in the all other OpEx. Understanding what percentage your overhead should be. Understanding what percentage your profits should be. Understanding a concept of the water line that is not your overhead. Okay, your water line's not your overhead. It's not break even. Hey, I broke even this month. That's not why you're in business. Like a drifting dock is just trying to break even. A driven dock understands your profit levers and the exact collection number that you have to hit in order for your business to be right, healthy. No different than you treating a patient. Where do their metrics need to be for that patient to be healthy? You measure these all the time. You do progress exams all the time. So why aren't you applying those principles to your business? Why don't you know that exact number that your business needs to collect in order for your business to be right? That means you're paid, your team's paid, and now anything over this, we start to make extra profits. We can profit share. We understand our cash on hand, and there's 5 pages to this report with strategy and how to leverage these and what's your next steps and how to stabilize this and how to improve it. It's absolutely incredible. And in the data-driven practice, we give you the exact training that we call your seven-figure roadmap. So not only can you get to 7 figures, but well beyond. And how do we build a model? How do we duplicate that? For like Kaz, who's an incredible financial position with his own practice, how could we duplicate that into other locations? How do we unlock the wealth freedom? That's what one of our team members, Ashley Brunges, did. Check this out. On her left, right? On this side, on her right, sorry, your left, her right. This was her collections before the data-driven practice. This is her collections with the data-driven practice. Go ahead and put in the chat. Which one would you rather have your cash collection trend be? The one on your left, the one on your right, the one on your left. Yeah, the one before, the one after. Yeah. Obviously, there's still some up and down. She's not completely stabilized yet, but here's what's really cool. You guys ready for the cool part? This is what's so cool. This is her second location. She acquired the practice where she's standing. The data was a different doctor running the practice. But because she had mastered, not just dabbled, you guys, she mastered the DDP systems. The data-driven practice, she is a driven doc. And when she bought this practice, it was 2 months before that practice skyrocketed in collections. She's an expander. She purchased this practice, and we helped her negotiate the acquisition for pennies on the dollar of what they were asking for. She acquired an asset, and she has 10x'd the net worth of that practice and unlocked now a multiple because that's what driven docs do. This is what my ecosystems are built to do, to help you understand your five capitals that you have to master and how to build culture of accountability balance with reward, not only in your team member's life, but in yours. You need this. You need these tools. So the cool thing is, I've got a special offer for you for being here with me. Like, what are next steps? How can I unlock those? How could I master the five capitals? Well, it comes in three steps. We have what we call our build phase to build you the systems, our launch phase, implementing the systems, and our scale phase, which is supporting you through the growth and evolution of those phases. And we have an unbelievable offer right now where our AI callers, right, our speed to lead callers, they cost between $3,000 and $5,000 to build, just to build them, to get them dialed into your practice knowledge base and to understand how to communicate with patients. And we have an unbelievable opportunity for you right now that you can unlock this program and get started for only $997. That gives you the AI caller for free. All you have to do is invest in the build phase. The build phase is normally $3,000, and you could get started as low as $997 to unlock the build phase. Now, how much is the launch phase? How much is the scale phase? I don't know. It depends on what you need. So the cool thing is we actually have an opportunity to just jump on a call. Let me understand your numbers. Let me understand where you're at. Let me see if I have services that you can benefit from. If you don't, I will not waste your time, your money. But I'll certainly give you the recommendations to get you to the next level of where you should go to get that help. But if we do have that service that plugs your hole and fixes it, then I'll share it with you exactly what that investment looks like. That could be as low as $500. That could be, up to a few $1,000s a month. It just depends on what your needs are and how fast you want to go. But you could unlock this initial phase, save $2,000, get your $5,000 AI caller for free if you take action today, right? This is our spring into the Driven Doc world special for April. So if you don't start by the end of April, you do not get this gift. You can still start with the DDP, you just don't get the discount on the build phase and you don't get the free AI caller. So you can literally just book your call, have a quick call, let me look at some numbers, and I even have something that is unbelievable for the very first practice that gets started. I'm speaking at the Empowered Experience in Washington, D.C. later this month on April 25th. I know this is kind of short notice. It's at the Mayflower. It's a one-day event, but it's an incredible opportunity to come and hang out with me in person in Washington, D.C. I'm the keynote speaker at their event. I'm going to be laying out some unbelievable data, doing some real-time training, along with three of my good friends. This is Dr. Jay Greenstein's event. He's going to be showing patient gamification and an incredible system that he's built out to get your patients to complete their treatment plans at a higher rate. Matthew Loop is an incredible marketer. He's going to be sharing some incredible AIO stuff that's going to be incredible. And Dr. Alan Miner has an incredible system for finding talent. And so, if finding the right team members to sit in the right seats is something you need help with, he's amazing at this. That's what he's going to be teaching. So, only one doctor is going to get these two tickets, and it's the first one that gets started with me. But you got to get yourself to Washington, D.C., but I will cover the cost of your tickets. I believe they're $397 a piece, and I will cover that cost for you. Two people will get golden tickets. This is your next steps onto mastering your five capitals, to scaling, to balance accountability and reward. This is what we do. And it just starts with a simple conversation. You can click the link in the chat, or you can simply DM me at .corey14. I don't know how there got to be 14 Corey's, but somehow I'm the 14th one. And so .corey14, just simply comment details and we'll DM you the link, or you can grab the link in the Zoom chat right there. It is so good to be with you guys. I hope this has been valuable for you. I hope you can go implement some of this stuff immediately so you can start seeing the value of what we teach. You can immediately start increasing your collections. And if you can take some of those collections and reinvest in yourself so that you can master your five capitals and become a true chiropractic CEO, it's not going to just change your life. It's going to change the life of your family, your kids, your team. Your team's going to thank you, and your patient's going to thank you because now you've truly built a true community monument of what true healthcare is. You get to lead the healthcare movement. I'm Dr. Corey Frogley. I am a driven doc. It's been a privilege being with you guys. Thank you for being here. Have an amazing weekend.